Craig here on the third floor. With me today we've got Jesse Watson and Patrick Healy, and we're talking Guild. Quick disclaimer, when filming this, it was in the open beta, so some of the details may change. Enjoy. Let's take a look at Dashel Barker, leader of the Guard, right? Guard is his key word. If I'm choosing Dashel as my leader, what am I expecting Dashel to do?
Summon.
We got a summoner!
He has a summoner.
Okay. Is that all he does?
No, he also buffs the guys he brings in. So a couple things. He lets models near him treat if they discard a card, they can treat Concentrate as a bonus action.
Oh, okay.
So riflemen, all kinds of guild models like that.
They do have to burn a card now.
Yeah, they do have to burn a card now. They do have to burn a card.
Gotcha.
But it's another source of stacking Concentrate on, for example, riflemen, which we'll touch when we get to his crew.
So yeah, he's potentially easing the ability for focus to be spread out around the group.
Yeah.
He himself, is he doing damage? Is he just strictly support?
So he actually is a little bit of a struggle. 1 AP, just go ahead, is summoning. Just in your mind, 1 AP is going to be a summon. What do you do after that? His bonus action is going to be to foul mouth motivation, give somebody a heal and a focus.
Okay.
And then 1 AP is probably spent putting him where he needs to be for people to get their cheap focuses.
Yep.
Perhaps even body blocking, charge lanes and whatnot on some of his models that he needs to protect. For instance, his totem. Mm-hmm. And then after that, his axe is good for getting coordinated strikes and combinations of executioners, but you have to get into melee with your summoner. And he has his ranged ability.
Yeah, I like seize them. I think late game seize them. Once you've got kind of a swarm of guards on something, that can start stacking damage and some conditions as well. I believe it can put on... it does damage and it gives all the guards nearby shielded.
Oh, wow. Okay. So
it basically, what you pick an enemy model, it does damage equal to the number of guard models with Impulse 3.
So you guys briefly brought up the totem. Talk to me about his totem.
He's essential.
Yes.
Okay. What is his totem?
The dispatcher.
Yeah, the guild dispatcher.
So the important thing about Dashel's summon is he needs to eat a scheme marker.
Okay.
Now, what he really needs to summon a model after all the math is done is cost plus 4 and the right suit.
Yes.
If he eats an enemy scheme marker for the summon. If he eats a friendly scheme marker, he needs cost plus 6, which means that 6 cost rifleman's now costing you a 12 and the right suit.
Yes. Got it.
So the dispatcher gives you the ability to, off of a trigger on his bonus action, to convert a nearby scheme marker into an enemy scheme marker.
Turn a friendly into it. Oh,
yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
And he can count as a friendly scheme marker for abilities, so he can sort of do the Rezer thing of take a kidney and hey, that's a scheme marker. Yes. He can hurt himself to generate an enemy scheme marker, which Dashel can then use to summon cheap, which is the only way he can get out his executioners.
Yes.
And he
can summon an executioner.
He can summon an executioner.
Okay.
Summon an executioner, he can heal the executioner, and he can give it focus.
Yeah, and executioners within the keyword. All right.
Yes.
So that is Dashel Barker. Time to talk about a guard crew. So Dashel Barker's obviously leading. He's going to be bringing a bunch of keyword guards. What does a guard crew look like?
I think it's going to be fairly model heavy.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have... He has access to several cheaper models that still get some business out of them. But then he has several more elite models, too.
For example?
Executioners.
Okay.
Francis Queeg. The henchman, the former henchman is now his henchman.
Okay.
Yeah. Guy has his own henchman, so...
And what is Queeg doing for the crew?
Queeg's a bit of a control piece. He helps move your stuff around. He can move enemy models around with his whip.
He's got triggers for heals.
Triggers for heals.
Attacks.
Yes.
So he can facilitate while doing,
Let me
aggro.
check.
And
there's 2-inch range now, yeah, so he's got a good bit of control bubble.
Yeah, there's like a sub-theme going on with Queeg and the Wardens, which are augmented guard.
Okay.
Yes. So if you need to bring in something for 5 costs that's tanky, armor 2,
yes.
Dashel can summon them, he can hire them. And if a Warden activates near Queeg, you get some special combos going off there. They automatically get a focus.
Yes.
And if you gain focus anywhere near Queeg, you could also take 2 damage to instead gain fast.
Interesting. Okay.
So if you need to run, if you need to get to a certain place or
Yes.
take a lot of actions, that's an option available to you with Queeg.
gives you some mobility.
But I think he's a choice. Like, either you're intending to use those abilities and probably combo with Wardens, or you don't bring him.
Got it. A little bit of potential package deal there.
Sure, 100%.
So, bringing up the fact that Wardens are both augmented and guard, do you see a place for leader Barker and hiring Hoffman?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think there's an interesting list. Is it a tournament list? I don't know. But
Okay.
there's a list where because the Peacekeeper is versatile,
True.
so you wouldn't pay the extra tax for him. You're paying one for Hoffman, and then the Wardens are both lists. But there's a list out there somewhere where you charge up those Wardens and use those as your tar pits, and Hoffman is giving them fast, pulsing for injured damage, supporting them, while himself being a decent offensive piece, buying you the time to summon in your Executioners to get your wave going. It's a potential build. It could be interesting.
Gotcha. So if I'm sitting across from a guild player, and the guild player tells me that Dashel is their leader, and I know now they're about to build a guard crew, what do I expect to come at me?
I think there are certain models you definitely have to watch out for. So we mentioned that they could have, for instance, the patrol
Right.
and the hounds, and they could bring a large number of models. Those aren't the ones to scare you.
No. Those are chaff.
You're going to have an
Those are-
executioner at
Right.
some point on the table. Watch out for that. That is a nasty melee model.
And even if they don't hire it, it might show up later.
It could be summoned
Yeah.
in. He's got mounted guard for some excellent mobility tricks and for getting models
Moving his
where
models.
they need to go.
Bringing executioners up, etc.
A 7-inch place, effectively. with
On an
Ride
executioner.
Okay, that's good.
Yes.
Actually, a little bit more than that if we count base size.
If we do
Yeah.
base size, it gets closer to 8 inches, 9 inches almost.
Yeah, something like that. And riflemen. And this has been a big sticking point for people. The field control that those offer. Because, these are riflemen. They're going to sit back. They're going to pop you from range. And as it currently is, they could get a bonus action focus off Dashel, a 1 AP focus, and then they can reduce that focus by 1 to hit you from 24
inches away with the focus shot.
With a focused shot.
Like a guild sniper.
Right.
It is,
Yeah.
yeah, they are the ghost sniper.
And he could, for not too expensive a cost, start with 2 or 3 of them to
Yes.
help maintain that early field control, and of course can summon them. So I think
And it's
those
actually
are,
feasible to even have 2 focus on them already, so you can walk and take that shot.
So I
Wow.
think those are the 3 models you're going to spend your time really thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody else there is kind of to support run those models.
Is there any out of faction guard, or is guard strictly guild?
They're strictly guild.
Strictly guild.
Strictly
What is a guard crew afraid of?
AoE damage, I think. Long range AoE, because you're typically going to have the riflemen near something else, and the riflemen are fairly squishy. I believe they're def 5 or 4.
Yeah, they're not.
Let me check real fast.
Yeah, they
they're-
don't have a lot of heals.
Yeah.
They're not packing a lot of armor typically.
No.
But they've got some flexibility against
Hey,
summoning
flex- yeah.
wounds to go that way.
Yeah.
So, they're kind of squish. They're hoping to win the attrition war with offensive output and the fact that he's replacing models.
A lot of move and shoot.
Yeah, demise ability on
Yeah.
the mounted guard as well.
Yeah, they're popping out patrol. So yeah, several of the bigger models will like pop out of patrol when they die.
Yeah.
So they replace themselves in a way.
Gotcha.
What strikes me when I'm playing, not necessarily in terms of what the models do, but the schemes and the strategies, Dashel really wants enemy scheme markers on the table.
Okay.
And he doesn't have great access to it other than his broadcaster. And a couple models have triggers, but they're again low access.
Yep.
So I think if you have an ability to pop that dispatcher,
Yes.
and then if you choose the schemes such that you're not dropping scheme markers, he can't get his executioner, he can't get his mounted guard.
The riflemen are coming out on a 12, right?
Yeah, it's much more expensive to get that, and it's
Got
just
it.
lower access. So I think the fear for Guardsman is a very careful and intentional strategic choice, which is why I almost always bring Nellie with him as a second master.
How so?
First off, Nellie is just fantastic as
Yes,
a
she
second
is.
master.
I love her.
But her one more question ability has a built-in trigger to make the enemy drop a scheme
Scheme
marker
marker.
of their own. Which, when that happens, Nellie will draw a card.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Nellie has massive card draw access, so she'll be helping to feed the hand you need to summon with.
Got it.
Which replaces, that covers a deficit where they don't have card draw
No, they do not.
in guards. She's forcing scheme marker drops on the enemy, which can then be
You can
used
eat.
to summon Executioner, or an Executioner can eat to attack more.
Right.
And she has a bonus action to move models, friendly models, towards enemy ski markers that she's been placing. So again, getting maximum use out of your beater. She's just an amazing combination with this list.
Well, and it sounds like there's enough reasonably priced guard models that you could afford a second master.
Easily.
Yeah.
Especially with the summoner, so you can start bringing in some of your bigger guys later.
Got it.
Especially with Nelly giving the enemy ski markers. It's feasible to not hire an executioner or mounted guard right away and then summon one in.
Interesting. Okay. So you mentioned, pool-wise, what he's looking for. Is there a specific strategy that screams Barker, or is it just if you're seeing a pool and you're expecting a lot of enemy scheme markers, Barker's going to be a potential choice?
I think that's definitely a choice there. I don't know how I like him in the Reckoning, because he will kill, but he will lose models too.
Yeah, he's going to give up models more in Reckoning. If you have all of Guild available to you, he's not my choice for
he's
Reckoning.
not at all.
Got it.
Because of that squishiness.
Unless maybe the scheme pool is a scheme pool where they're going to be dropping markers, and then I might consider that.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But I still would worry about giving that up.
Yeah.
On the other hand, Turf War, which is still sensitive to getting killed,
yes,
with his ranged control and the ability to put models, whether using mounted guard or extended range summons, into other people's quarters.
Yes.
I think he can do a lot of great work there.
And his range, he can reach out and kill a model, flip the marker, stuff like that too.
Right.
Yes.
I think one he might struggle with, depending on your build, would be plant explosives.
Okay. How so?
Because he's not, other lists have multiple henchmen they could work with, so you can have multiple people, carrying lots of bombs.
He's gonna have one, right?
Yeah, he's a minion master in a
he's-
lot of ways, and so he's gonna be more limited, and his minions are squishy.
What does he even have? Even enforcer wise, he doesn't even run a lot of enforcers.
No, he really doesn't. He goes straight to Queeg for his
Henchmen,
and then
it's all minions or
all minions.
Interesting.
But again, Nelly.
Yes.
Now, how about any versatile models that you like in a guard crew?
Actually, this is one I don't think I need the effigy as much in.
I don't feel the effigy as much here.
Pale Rider could actually be interesting here.
How so?
I think the Pale Rider could be. When you look at his ability to hand out shielded in a large pulse, that's actually really good for your bit more squishier minions right there.
Right.
Throw shielded 2 in all of them.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Also, he's got Ride with Me,
Yes.
so what
More
I would
movement.
do is, either I'm going to hire in a mounted guard. If I'm going pure guard, I'm going to hire in a mounted guard so I can get my executioner where he needs to be.
Yes.
Or go up just a little bit in cost, and I bring in a Pale Rider to do the same Ride with Me trick, but he's going to provide a bit more, oomph down the line, as well as anytime you think you're going to have a higher model count. Things that do burst shielding, that's really big.
Yeah.
Or burst charge, or burst...
Early game, he brings your big beaters up, so your executioner, whoever, even brings Barker up. So he can summon exactly that way.
Got it.
And then late game, even turn 3, for example, you've kind of got your gunline, your rifleman established, they're coming at you, pulse out shielded on them, you can take the hit.
Yeah.
And if need be, you hire the Pale Rider and then just summon your mounted guard, right?
That's always an option.
Okay. So that is the guard crew led by Dashel Barker.